The Thursday night game just ended between the Browns and Steelers. Today we're going to be looking at the buy, sell, holds, and trades from that game. It was a fun one. We had a lot of snow. A lot of things happened. It was very exciting for a game that was impacted by the weather with two tricky defenses going at it. This one was a good one to watch. But before we dig in and look at these fantasy players, look at the advanced metrics, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're going deep into paint, looking at the waiver wire every day. We're doing deep dives on the trending players. And tomorrow and Saturday with the must-start series, we're going to use these videos to help you set your lineups. Click that button right now. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. You do not want to disappoint Ric Flair. But what we're seeing here is awesomeness, because this game was in the snow and we had two quarterbacks with over 200 yards passing. Even with flurries the size of rocks, they were able to sling the rock downfield. Jameis Winston was just fun in this matchup. Russell Wilson cooked. He cooked in the cold. He sure did. He was tossing it downfield. There was a lot of gusto in this game. Jaylen Warren gets the touchdown on 45 yards on 11 carries. Najee Harris, 16 carries, 41 yards. Didn't really get it done in that department. When it comes to the receivers in this matchup, Calvin Austin gets the touchdown, 3 catches, 78 yards. That's your hitter for the Steelers right there. George Pickens, 4 catches, 48 yards. Considering the matchup, the weather, all the variances at play, 7 targets. I mean, it's not great for fantasy, but it's better than what could have been. Like what you're seeing with Van Jefferson or some of the other pass catchers on the other side of the ball as well. We're not seeing much from the wide receivers here. You usually don't outside of George Pickens. Najee Harris, a low game. You're going to expect some weirdness in the box score. But we got a Nick Chubb revenge game. That is glorious. 2 touchdowns. 3 yards per carry. We had to work our way back up to that. 59 yards on 20 carries. But that field was slippery. We know this. Nick Chubb getting to work. We knew he was going to get a lot of work. We knew he was in for at least 10 carries. We knew that was going to happen. We did not know what it was going to look like. We also did not know what the weather was really going to look like. We knew there was going to be precipitation, some snow. We did not know what it was going to look like because it was early in the morning when we were talking about this matchup. And I said, I'm not a weatherman. I don't know. I don't know. Just watch the pregame. And the pregame didn't do it justice because we got in the middle of the game. It was going off, so I was even wrong there. Jerry Jeudy, 6 targets, 6 balls caught, 85 yards. Carousel effect here in Cleveland with the wide receivers. Any wide receiver in this offense can get it. The two main ones, Tillman and Jeudy, mainly because they're getting those deep targets and they're running a lot of routes and they're getting targeted on the consistent. Jerry Jeudy has been hot these last 2 games. That is something to note. Cedric Tillman, 4 targets in this matchup, 2 for 28. Elijah Moore, 3 for 21 on 5 targets. They're getting volume. This was a strange game, and against a nasty defense that's bend but not break to the running backs and wide receivers. That's really exactly what happened here. Both defense bended a little bit but didn't break fantasy scoring wise. But what I really want to show you here is the advanced metrics. Looking at the yards after contact per attempt for the Browns, 1.95 for Nick Chubb, but we got 20 rushing attempts for the snow. I mean, it was impacted. His longest run was 7 yards. No carries of 10-plus yards. It's Nick Chubb. We're going to give him the gusto. We're just happy he got those 2 touchdowns. We're happy about that. Looking at the Steeler running backs, Jaylen Warren, 3.09 yards after contact per attempt. Glorious. Great. Najee Harris, just a slow game. But that's just how the cookie crumbles in a matchup like this. Going to the receiving game here, looking at the routes ran. George Pickens ran 30 routes for the Steelers, got 7 targets, and we have a deep average depth of target of 20.6 yards per target. That is deep. It's deep ball city. They try to push it downfield, and we know how that works. Sometimes you get overshot. Sometimes there's too much snow. The deep balls can be volatile. We got some production, not enough for fantasy, but we got something considering the weather. And now you're looking at Pat Freiermuth here, 27 routes, of course, at the tight end spot in an icky matchup like this, catching, 4 balls for 59 yards. Everything's humming in the passing game. When you look at the routes here at the other wide receivers, Calvin Austin ran 22. Maybe a wide receiver to think about in the right matchups. Going over to the Browns, David Njoku led this team in routes ran. Tight end position, icky matchup in the snow. Makes sense. And you're seeing the tight ends in the snow. Think about other games going forward if you see that happening after watching this video. Tight ends running more routes. 4 targets in this game, 1 ball caught, 9 yards. Also got the 2-point conversion. Jerry Jeudy went ham in this matchup, did well, considering all things. 25 routes ran. That's solid. Led all wide receivers with routes ran. 15 for Tillman. He got banged up, though. Elijah Moore, 20 routes. Looking at the ADOTs here. The ADOTs, even in the snow, was pretty good. We're looking at Jerry Jeudy with 11.8. It's just Jameis Winston doesn't care. Like I was saying in the pregame this morning, Jameis Winston doesn't care. He's going to do what he wants on the field. He's going to push it. That's what we like about Jameis Winston, and that's the cool thing about this game. But we saw a lot of goodness from this matchup. It was fun to watch. Jerry Jeudy still getting the volume. We got the carousel effect with the Browns wide receivers. It was a tricky one for the Steelers. George Pickens still getting volume. Everything's still at play with all the fantasy assets with this team. Fun matchup to watch. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video.